Hey everyone, this is Frank Todaro, voice actor, radio host, and huge Transformers fan. Now, in the past few episodes of the paranormal and science-based radio program, The Invisible World, quick plug for my own show there, I'd been alluding to this project I was working on. Since last fall, I've had the honor of working with Space Ape Games on the amazing new real-time strategy game, Transformers Earth Wars, which was just released moments ago. And now I've just had the absolute privilege of doing a quick interview with Simon Furman, directly from Space Ape's launch event over at their London headquarters. So without further ado, here you go. Transformers Earth Wars has gone live just minutes ago. It's a real-time strategy game for a mobile device set in the Transformers universe. With me right now is writing legend Simon Furman, the man responsible for, in many ways, molding the entire Transformers mythos that we love so much and making them what they are today. Simon, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thanks for talking to me. It's great to be chatting about the game. Very excited.
It's fantastic. So first of all, the game appeals to a broad spectrum of fans and gamers. To those of you guys out there that are new to the game, so to speak, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Simon, your background, and how you got involved with Transformers in the first place?
Sure. I was working for Marvel UK, the UK-based, London-based branch of Marvel Comics. And when Marvel in America started doing their Transformers comic, the UK followed suit. And pretty soon we had to produce our own material exclusively for the UK. So I was brought on board to write, all these sort of interconnected Transformers stories that fitted in pretty much between the American stories that Bob Budiansky was telling in the States. And really from there it grew and grew, and I ended up taking over from Bob on the American Marvel comic, then moving on into Generation 2 comics, Dreamwave comics, and right up to now with the IDW comics. And since then I've been working on various other things. I've written for the Beast Wars animated TV show, and I've written Transformers The Ultimate Guide. And really for the last 30 years, Transformers has been the mainstay of my comic writing career.
For you guys listening at home, Mr. Furman's run on the Marvel comic is probably one of my my favorite comics, hands down, if not my absolute favorite comic. So thank you for everything you've contributed so far.
Thank you.
Oh, man.
Thank you for the kind words.
Yeah, just to flesh that out, there's a Death's Head figure about 2 feet from me on the desk in the studio where I'm recording from. So that's another character that Simon has given life to. Writing.
Kind of my personal favorite.
Absolutely.
No,
you connect several continuities so far as I understand.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely.
Now, what is your involvement with Transformers Earth Wars?
Well, the team here brought me on board to provide some of the background story for it. We're spinning slightly out of the IDW continuity, but really it's its own sort of unique storyline. We just used that as the launch platform, and really it was coming up with the backstory, some of the rationale about why they're back on Earth, what they're looking for, and then developing some of the campaign strategy strands that run through the game that move the player from A to B to C to D, and just generally broadening that picture and also supplying some of the character dialogue that goes with that. So a lot of the little speech bubbles that crop up, or some of the little sound bites that the characters are actually saying, they're sort of from me.
That is fantastic. How has writing for a video game been different than writing straight narrative fiction like comic books and so forth?
Yeah, it's a little more evolving, I guess. You work very closely with the team. You talk a lot about what you want to accomplish, and then, you come back in later on to add in that dialogue or, change certain elements. So it's a very sort of evolving project over a period of time. It's not as solitary as comic writing, where you tend to sit in your own office and just write the story. Here it's very much more of a team effort, and also taking on board a lot of the initial feedback we had from fans who saw the game in an early form, and just taking some of their comments and refining the game, refining the characters, refining some of the gameplay. So, just generally, it's a lot more hands-on team effort.
Now, this game in particular is something that's going to be around for a while and constantly changing. Are there other story elements that you have in mind? I'm sure you can't say them right now in the air, but are there any twists or surprises that we can expect further on with future updates?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, every stage of this game will reveal a little bit more about the picture and what's going on. And gradually, we're building up to bigger and bigger things. But, we don't want to just rush there and sort of say, here's these characters and this is what everything's about. We want the players themselves to actually sort of work through the game and actually sort of attain these goals, find the things they need, learn about the story. So, there's lots of things to discover, lots of things to find, and lots of, sort of secrets lurking along the way. So, it's very much themed to sort of find, more and more stuff as you go through the game.
Indeed. The combination of all the things you said have combined to make it very, very interesting. Let me just say the word combiner one more time.
I mean, there are combiners featured in the game. And, do we get to combiners at some point? Well, you'll just have to keep playing and see.
And the download link is in the description. So the game uses the original voices of Optimus Prime and Megatron, both in promos and in the game itself. So what was it like hearing some of those old classic Furmanisms, those old phrases from the comics that you coined, coming out of Peter Cullen and Frank Welker's head holes? Yeah,
I had a proper fan moment, really, with that. It was just irresistible to try and put some of those old sound bites from the comics that I kind of got associated with into actually sort of Peter Cullen's mouth and Frank Welker's mouth. So to hear, Reap the Whirlwind and It Never Ends, voiced by those kind of legends, was totally amazing for me. So, they're there in the game, and like I say, it was my own little fan moment, really.
I've got this dumb smile plastered to my face just talking about it. That's so awesome.
It was great fun.
Have you gotten a chance to play the game now yourself? It's been out for a while in beta. Have you gotten to do that?
Yeah. I've been kind of playing along with it all through, just because, you have to kind of immerse yourself in the game a little bit just to get the hang of what we need to do story-wise. So, I've actually sort of sat down with it now, and it's great to see it all slot together, and I think it's looking really good. I mean, what I love about it is it seems to have combined the sort of best of both worlds. It's got the kind of vibe of the classic G1 cartoon, but it looks bang up to date, and it's got a little bit of the comic book in there as well. So it just feels like it's touching old bases, but completely fresh and new as well.
Absolutely. I also want to point out you used the word combined there. So, hey, kids at home, keep track. So the reason I ask, of course, the big question here, are you an Autobot or a Decepticon?
Well, if the Autobot is Grimlock, I'm an Autobot. Otherwise, I kind of always think the bad guys are better to play and write.
It makes more sense if they're attacking, I guess, to be a Decepticon. But yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, I've played from both sides on it, and it's great fun either way.
Do you have a favorite character on your team that you like to use?
Yeah, I love Blaster. I think he's a very cool character to play. And Bludgeon as well, always been a favourite of mine. I'm spoiled for choice, really, on this game.
Is there any element of the game that you're surprised that they included? Something like the deep tracks of Transformers, something that only the diehard fans would know?
Well, I mean, I think there's plenty of nice little nods and Easter eggs for the fans in there. But, of course, it had to be quite open for people who really don't know Transformers much, except maybe the Bay movies or the more recent toys. So it had to be kind of fairly general as well. But there's plenty in there. If you're a fan, you'll get all the nods and references, because apart from myself, most of the team here were big fans themselves. So, all that stuff found its way into the designs and the gameplay and pretty much every aspect of the game.
That's awesome. So, before we run out of time here, what else are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on an animated kids TV show called The Mad Hatter Chronicles, which is showing over here. I'm doing a couple of projects that I can't really talk about Transformers-wise, and I'm also writing a novelization of an animated show. So keeping busy at the moment, and the game on top of that, which continues.
You're a busy man, and we all appreciate it. So how can the guys at home find out more about you online?
Well, they can look me up on Facebook, and they can look me up on WordPress. It's Simon Furman at WordPress.com, and I'll keep people up to date there of what's going on.
So simonfurman.wordpress.com. Link's going to be in the show notes. Simon's a longtime fan of the franchise. I just want to take this opportunity to say thank you. Thank you for your talent. Thank you for your kindness and everything that you've contributed to the just general awesomeness over the years so far. So thanks a lot, man.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you very much. Really good talking to you.
The game is Transformers Earth Wars. The link is in the show notes. To find out more about Simon's project, again, visit simonfurman.wordpress.com. Simon, it's been great.
Thanks very much. Bye now.
Guys, thanks so much for listening. Like I said in the interview, the link to download the game, absolutely free, mind you, is down in the show notes. Thanks to Trash80 for the intro and outro music. Huge thanks to Space Ape Games, Hasbro, and Backflip, and a big shout out to Jody and the whole team over at Space Ape for all the hard work they do. For more on Simon Furman's current and future projects, check out the link down in the show notes. And for more on the various things I am up to myself, between voiceover work, theater, and various spooky science radio programs I'm a part of, check out the link down there too. I'll end this thing the same way I do on the radio show. Thanks again to everyone here and everyone out there. This is Frank Todaro reminding you to be good to each other and keep looking forward.